Hi, welcome back to Feel Food Factor. Today I'm going to show you how to make a spice powder which is very healthy and nutritious, and it's made from the ridge gourd skin or the turai peel. So for that I have taken 1 kg turai and I peeled the skin and I air dried it for 24 hours. And for this amount I have taken about 2 strands of curry leaves, not more than that. And I've taken a quarter cup measurement of dry dhania. So for this quarter cup measurement I have taken the same amount of urad dal and chana dal, and half of that measurement of jeera, and 1 tablespoon of methi seeds, and then a handful of garlic. Garlic is optional, and then 15 dry red chilies, and also some salt. So now I've also taken a special ingredient, that is flax seeds or alsi. Now I'm going to heat up a pan. After the pan is nice and hot, I'm going to dry roast the methi seeds. Once the methi seeds change a little bit of color and give out a nice aroma, that's when I'm going to add the chana dal and urad dal, and we're going to dry roast this until they turn nice and brown. Make sure the flame is on low. So after a few minutes, after it changes color a little bit, when it's halfway through, that's when we will add the dhania and also jeera. After adding the coriander seeds and the cumin seeds, we will let this fry for a few more minutes until the nice aroma comes out. So once it is almost done, that's when we're going to add in the dry red chilies. So after adding the dry red chilies, once they also puff up, and they are ready to be switched off, that's when I will add the flax seeds. And after adding the flax seeds, it will take a few seconds for them to splutter because the pan is super hot. So now I'm transferring them to a different plate and let them cool down. So now in the same pan I've added a little bit of oil, about a tablespoon, and then I sliced the garlic thinly, and I'm frying the garlic until it's golden brown in color. Make sure the flame is on low because the garlic should not get burnt. It only should fry until nice and crispy. So if the flame is on high, the inside of the garlic will still be raw, and that gives a very different taste, like a very strong flavor. It goes good, but it gives a very strong flavor to your spice powder. So now that the garlic is nice and all crispy from all the sides and browned all the sides, I'm removing it without any oil. So I still have the oil in the pan, and I'm putting the curry leaves now to splutter. I'm just putting the lid on so that the oil doesn't throw up on my face. And once the curry leaves are all nice fried up until they're crispy, I'm going to remove them. And that's the reason I've added with the strands, and later I will remove the strands. So after I remove the curry leaves from the oil, again in the same oil I'm going to add in the peel of the turai or the ridge gourd. So we are going to fry this on a low flame. We're going to roast it completely. So we will roast it until the quantity of this peel becomes to the quarter of what we have added. So now that it is pan full, it has to be the quarter of what we have added. So until then, we have to keep stirring it and fry it with a lot of patience. See, as I told you earlier that I'm going to remove the curry leaves off the stem, and I've done that now, and I'll let this dals cool down. See, keep tossing around the peel so that it doesn't get burnt or unevenly cooked. We want the roasting evenly so that all the peel is nice and crispy. That's why I'm using tongs or forceps for it to be tossed properly. So you can also use a spoon, but this is easier. It is not going to make any mess. So ideally, if you want to sun dry them, you can as well do that. Leave it in the sun for about 2 days and it will become nice and crispy. But here we don't have that choice. In America, it already started getting cold. So I'm pan frying it. But also make sure that you leave this to air dry for 24 hours. So now the peel is almost getting cooked. It has already reduced to half, and now see it has reduced to quarter of its quantity. And now I'm going to turn off the flame and leave this peel in the pan itself, so that in case if there are any peels that are not fried yet, will be fried with the heat of the pan. Once it's all fried and cooled down completely, I'm going to add this to a mixing jar along with the dals that we roasted earlier, and I'm going to make a fine powder out of it. So once the powder is made, I'm going to transfer it into a different bowl or a plate for it to cool down completely, and then I'm going to store it in a airtight jar. So after storing it in the airtight jar, it will stay good and fresh for about 1 month. So this podi that we call, or the spice powder, it goes very well with rice, idli, dosa. So do try this recipe and tell me how you like it in the comment section, and also post a pic on my Instagram page. Like, share and subscribe to Feel Food Factor.